What happens when someone does not properly plan to move out of their house? Now, my name is Dan Palmer. I'm with Keller Williams in the Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area, and I had this recently happen to a client of mine. They thought, a week to go, we'll be okay. And guess what? They got COVID and they could not properly vacate their home. And day of closing came and they were in bed. And what happens in a situation like this? So, first off, they could have avoided this if they had properly planned out. Secondly, they could have hired professional movers, which would have been a great option. This was a retired couple, and they probably should have had professional movers. So, if you're ever looking for a recommendation for movers, though, just let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you. As well, they could have prepared a little bit in advance rather than waiting to the last week to kind of finish off everything and basically do about 75-80% of the move in that last week. You never know what would happen. So not just COVID, but there could be a ton of things that could happen during that last week that would just make it impossible to move. And thirdly, what happens if you don't close on closing day? So for them, they fortunately only were one day late. They were able to hire someone to come out and actually get it done the next day, as well as they had to move a bunch of their stuff to their neighbor's house just for the time being. And they were able to do that, fortunately, just one day. And that Friday was the 29th day of the month. The people who were moving in, they had rent to pay if they were having to stay longer. So I know on the 30th or 31st, they would have had to pay another month's rent. So they could have, the people selling the home could have been on hook for that month's rent, plus any expenses that perhaps had already hired movers. There's a lot of expenses that they would have had to pay. They ended up having to pay some expenses, and those expenses could have gone to hiring a mover in the first place. Would have actually saved the money. They ended up spending more money to pay for having the 1 day extension on the closing than it would have cost to hire movers. So, first off, if you're over the age of 60, please do not try to move the entire house that you lived in for 30 years by yourselves. Secondly, it's probably a good investment to hire professional movers, especially if you're moving out of province like this family was. And thirdly, don't wait to the last minute to pack 80% of your belongings. Try to get out in advance. It's better to pack most of the things a little bit early and just remove a couple things here and there if need be, than to wait till last minute and have something like this happen. Now, this wasn't too bad of a story, but it could have been a lot worse for them. Hopefully this helps, and I hope that next time you move, you don't wait till the last second.